Hello, good morning. My name is George. I'm a mentor in the GATS program for 2020. This morning we'll be looking at Quick Labs session. I'll be doing a Quick Labs session on the lab, app development, storing application data in Cloud Data Store version 1.1. Okay, so first of all, you right click on this and open in a new private window. Always use private browsing to do your labs. It prevents you from using other credentials that are there already activated on your browser for your cloud sessions or for your quick labs. Okay, so we will sign in with our Pluralsight account associated with the program. Please read through the overview and of course check out the objectives before we start. Let's quickly start this lab by clicking there. If you have issues when you run the lab, you can come click here, check my progress, and any errors that you might have will be presented to you in a pop-up window so that you can troubleshoot and get to know what the problem is. So we take the email from this section and the password also. Click in there, put it here, and then of course click to move to the next window. We accept this, and just be patient. You need to click a few things. No need to update the email. Just click confirm, move to the next page. Okay, so we have one more window to attend to. Once that is the case, we agree to the terms. No need to do email updates, and you click here and that window should disappear. All right, so we activate our Cloud Shell. I get rid of this one so that I have more real estate, and I pull this one up. I click here, and of course I come down here, and of course I launch my editor too at the same time so that in case I need to use that one. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to clone this repository. Okay, so let's give the Cloud Shell a few minutes to get set up. And of course the Git tool is pre-installed in your Cloud Shell, so you don't need to install it. It's there already, so all you need to do is just run your command. Okay, so our editor is up and running. Let's go back to the terminal. It's all set up. Paste that in. Okay, did I not? Let me go back. Click on that again. I think I have network issues. Let's test that. Okay, let me paste that in and then hit enter. Okay, so that's coming through. So our editor is up, so you can see the folder is already coming through, so that we'll be doing a lot of stuff in the editor. The editor is a bit more easy to get stuff done. In the terminal is faster, but if you're not too familiar with it, you'll make some mistakes, so you can use the editor. After we are done cloning that, we will have to change into the start directory inside the data store folder, in the Node.js folder, which is of course in the developing apps folder, which of course is in the courses folder, and we go as far as that. Okay, so let's paste that in and hit that. Of course, once you see this, you know where you are. Okay, if you don't see that, then you're not where you should be, and you should check and be sure. All right, so we will set an environmental variable that represents our project ID. Then of course we will run npm install. We know very well in Node.js development, you actually, after cloning a repository, you normally would run npm install, and that will go to your project.json file and install every needed requirements found therein. So That's a normal thing for us to do. We should be able to do that. Okay, let me trace the path first. I want to open our editor there. Node.js data store. Okay, so data store is this one. Click on that. Start. Okay, so there you go. So this file will be used by that command to install all the required components. So let's do npm install. We'll do that in the terminal now that we're there, and hit that. Okay, all right, so installation has begun. Now after that, we'll start the application and see how it plays out. And of course, we will preview it on port 80 using the preview button in our Cloud Shell window. Okay, so you should see a user interface for the web application. The three main parts to the applications are create questions, take test, and leaderboard. In the navigation bar, click create question. You should see a simple form that contains text boxes for the questions and answers with radio buttons to select the correct answer. Quiz authors can add questions to this part of the application. This part of the application is written as a server-side web application using the popular Node.js web application framework. In the navigation bar, click take test. You'll be taken to a client application. In the navigation bar, click GCP. You should see sample questions. Quiz takers can answer questions in this part of the application. This part of the application is written as a client-side web application using the popular JavaScript framework AngularJS. It receives JSON data from the server and uses JavaScript in the browser to display questions and collect answers. To return to the server-side application, click on the Quit Interesting Quiz link in the navigation bar. Examine the case study application code. Okay, let's see whether we're done. Okay, we're done with that, and then the next thing is to run the application so that we see all. Okay, so it's running, and then we click on the web preview. Click this, a new tab should open up. We should see our applications running, and then we'll do that. So what was the first thing we ought to have done? The first one was click on create question. Okay, so let's click on that. Okay, so that's where the quiz question providers would set up the questions. The next one was take test. Okay, so click here. Okay, this is where participants or students will be doing their tests. Then in the navigation bar, click GCP. Okay, all right, so these are where GCP questions will be placed. Okay, then to click to return to server side, click on Quit Interesting Quiz. Okay, so click on that one. Okay, so we're back to the landing page. Now examine the case study application code. From Cloud Shell, launch the code editor. That's launched already. Move into the server. Let's go back here. Where are we? This is the server. Okay, so move into the server. We're in the server. In the server, navigate to this folder. Okay, so the application is standard Node.js application written using popular Express application framework. Review the Express application, select app.js file. Okay, so that's the file there. Of course, if you don't edit any of the files you open here, then when you open a new one, the previous one will go away and the current one will be shown. But if you do edit it, and then you want to edit a new one, then the old one you edited will remain and the new one will also be added. So don't be surprised when you click on files and the only one is displayed. That's because the one that was here previously was never edited, so it doesn't remain. Okay, but of course I think there should be an option to right click here and say remain. Okay, there's no option. You can just change something and change it back and it will remain open for you. Okay, this file contains the entry point for the Express application and registers the main application routes for creating questions and delivering quizzes to users. Okay, so we've seen that one. Just take a look at it. Okay, we could open it in a new window anyway. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that one. It'll take us a few moments, but gives us far more space than we previously had. Okay, so the shell is up. Okay. All right. Okay, let's take this one up a bit. Okay. All right, so that is working. Let's just hold on a bit. Okay, so my internet is acting up, so of course for alarm, at least from my part. Okay, the shell isn't coming up, but we'll fix that one. So this is the application and a description has been given. Of course, you have these parts, the root, questions and all that. Okay, all right, so okay, so let me close this and open up again. Okay. Okay, so just click on new tab and this comes out. So what we do here, we need to activate our shell. So gcloud config sets projects, and then copy the project ID from here. That's down here. Come back here, paste that in, hit enter. All right, and then we need to change into those locations we previously should have were asked to change into. So let's go back up here and let us click this, come back here, paste that in, hit that, and we're in there. Okay, so let's go back up and continue. Okay, we now have more space than we should. That will give us more a better view on what we're doing. So go into the web app folder, which is up here, and we are told to click on this folder contains the Node.js modules for the server-side web application. Select the question.js file. So let's click on this one. It opens up. Okay, then we can minimize this. It's not possible to minimize it, fortunately. So just bring it down here a bit. Let's see, what does this say? Let's click on that. Okay, so that's just for checking up on some stuff. Okay, so select the web file. The file contains the handlers that display the form and collect form data posted by quiz authors in the web application. In the question.js file, find the handler that responds to HTTP post request for the question add route. Okay, so let's go here. Question add route. Let's go down. So we're looking for, okay, there you go. So there, I think I've seen it. That adds, so it should be a post request. All right, so this is okay. There you go. So that's the uh, one we're looking for. It's a post request and not a get request. So okay, review the source code comments for a detailed description of the handler's functionality. Okay, so this handler receives data submitted by authors creating new questions. The form posts data that has been extracted from the HTTP request body using the express body parser and assigns to a constant identifier called data. The handler delegates to a model object's create method. Okay, that's here, which receives the form data, post data. The handler also redirects back to the home page after a question has been added. Okay, so it's all right. So after that, the response is redirect to the home location. Okay, so we've seen that one. All right, so let me move this one here so that I can clicking can be easier. Okay, so select the server web app views folder. Okay, so web apps views folder, click on that one, and this folder contains templates for the web application user interface using the POG, formerly called Jade layout engine. So let us view add.pog. Okay, so question here. All right, so there it is. Click on that one. Okay, so this is a HTML page written with the POG syntax. Okay, this is what the application uses to, it's like a template, so it uses it to present a full-fledged HTML page to the user. Okay, so the file contains the POG template for the create question form. Notice how there is a select list to pick a quiz, text boxes where an author can enter the question and answers, and a radio buttons to select the correct answer. Now select index.js file found in the API folder. So let's go back a bit. There should be a folder called API, and that's the folder. Click here and that. Okay, so let's see that one. All right, so scroll through. All right, this should be the main file. Okay, and what does this one do? This file contains the handler that sends JSON data to students taking a test. Notice the handlers also make use of model objects. Okay, model object. Models are usually used to access data from a database, either to put data into a database or to retrieve data from a database. So it helps you so that you just simply passing all the values that represents each of the columns in a database, and it will do the updates for you and any other changes that you might want. Okay, select datastore.js. That is in the GCP folder. This is the GCP folder, and that. Okay, what does that one do? This is the file where you will write Datastore code to save and load quiz questions to and from Cloud Datastore. This module will be imported into the web application and API as the model object for the web application API. Okay, so this is the database that the model objects will be working on. In this section, you will write code to save form data in Cloud Datastore. So important, updated code within these sections marked as follows: to do and to do. So each place you need to work on, we'll start with a // 2/ and a to do word, and then it will subsequently end with the end to do. So that's how it works. Okay. All right, so create an app engine application to provision Cloud Datastore. Return to the Cloud Shell and stop the application by pressing Ctrl+C. To create an app engine application in your project, execute the following command. Okay, so we need to set up an app engine application and place it in the region US Central 1. Okay, so we come back here. Application wasn't running anymore anyway. I think we had already, if I refresh this page, okay, so that is expected. So we simply come here. No, let's go back here, click on this, come here, drop this. All right, so that's been set up. Let's go back, and that has been done as quick as that. Okay, so all right, so import and use Node.js Datastore module. Okay, so opens datastore.js, that's already open. Load the configuration model from the parent folder. Load the at google-cloud/datastore module. Declare datastore client object name DS. Okay, so to do, load the config module. Let's go back up here. Okay, so to do starts here and ends here. So in between these places, we need to add that code. So let's come back here. First of all, said we should load this. We'll load that one. And then come back here. The next to do is this one. So use those to do comments to guide you. So that's that. Oh, sorry. I think I missed that one. This one should actually be down here. Let's cut that one out. It should be here. That's where it should be. All right, so the next to do, okay, and to do, then the next to do, create a data store client named DS. Okay, and where is that? Okay, so that's it here. So take this one, copy that, come back here, go up, and the to do starts here and ends here. So that should be here. Just put it there. Okay. The beauty about this JavaScript is that even if your indentations are wrong, the code will still run, provided every other thing is in order. It will still run, unlike Python, where the indentation will actually stop your code from running. Okay, so declare a constant name kind, initialize it with a value question, data store. So declare a constant, and then that's the kind. Okay. So let's go down a bit. This editor is a bit slow when it comes to scrolling, so I usually just use that window over there. So declare a constant name kind, paste that one in there, and then in the create function, remove the existing promise.resolve placeholder statement from the create function. Okay, so let's go down. Okay, so we have to remove this one. Okay, so we'll remove that, and then declare a constant called key to store the key for this entity. Declare a constant name entity and initialize it with the key, and the quiz question properties extracted from the form data. Use the data store client object DS to save the entity by calling the save entity method. Okay, let's see how it's done. Okay, so this is how the create function should look. At the end of the day, it should return this. So what we will do here is we have several to do. Let's take this one first. Normally I would just, okay, so the first to do, okay, so we're told to get rid of that one, remove. So if you want to remove, you could just put 2 // and that one goes away, and the next one, declare a key. So the next one is this. You could delete that one, it doesn't matter. Okay, let me go in a bit, make it look nice, but remember, indentation doesn't matter. Done that. The next one is declare the entity object. Let's go up, declare entity object, and that's the entity object from here up to here. All right. Okay, so declare entity object. I'll still bring it in a bit to make it look good. All right, so what's the next to do? that ends there. The next one is to save and return a promise. Okay, let's check that one out. Save and return a promise, and that's how it's done. All right, so this is JavaScript asynchronous programming. Promises are promises. You need to keep promises. Okay, so what's the next thing we're supposed to do? We run the application, save this, and then run it. Okay, so let's click on this and save all. I usually click on save all just to be on the safe side. Then we click on this to run the application. Let's hope we did well, and it should run. If it doesn't, it shows us errors. We'll fix it. Okay, so already have an error. Okay, so let me pull this up a bit. Let's trace that error. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back, let's go back. Okay, I think we didn't set something up. Let's go back. The shell was recreated and we left something out. Please, let's quickly go back and do that. Let's go back, up, up, up. We need to do this. Okay, so click on that one because I saw where it says you need to set, you must set this as, okay, so let me put that one there and see what happens. Let me clear the screen. Okay, no, I did that, type that wrong. All right, so let's run it again. Okay, so we're up and running. All right, so let's check it out. Let's go to port 80. So whenever you destroy or close a shell, it's destroyed. Any environmental variables you've set previously will be gone. Okay, so let's go down to what we should be doing. Okay, we've done all this. I will come up here. Okay, we are here. All right, so now in the Cloud Shell, preview this and preview the quiz application. Click create question. All right, so let's click create question. All right, so that's that. All right, so complete the form with the following values. Okay, your name, let's add our name. Okay, so GORG. Okay, and the quiz here should be all right, so Google Cloud Platform, I believe, and the title would be this. Let me copy that. Okay, all right, and then answer, the first answer is Amazon, and then Google, and then we'll select the answer to radio button. So the four answers: Amazon, Google, IBM, and Microsoft. Okay, so the first one is Amazon, and the next one is let's select this radio button. The next one is Google, and the next one is IBM, and then Microsoft. Okay, so IBM, and the next one is oh, sorry, I made a mistake. Microsoft. All right, so we need to select this radio button for Google answer, and then what are we supposed to do? Return. Okay, and then click save. Okay, so after doing this, we'll click save. Hopefully it should save, and it was successful. Now we go back. I said return to the Cloud Platform console. On the navigation menu, click data store. Okay, so we are back here. Let's do data store. Let's go down, scroll down. That's data store. Just click on entities. Okay, so click on data store. On the data store page, click entities. I already did that. Okay, so you should see your new question. Choose two correct options to create a key. Choose the two correct options to create a key in Cloud Data Store. You can specify the kind and let Data Store, Cloud Data Store generate a unique and numeric ID. You can specify the kind and a unique string ID. You can ask Cloud Data Store to leave the key as a null value. you can create an entity without a key, which method enables you to store entities without clay to a data store. Okay, so these are questions you need to answer. Okay, so let's look at let's look at this. Okay, so that's it. All right. Okay. All right. So the correct answer is 2. All right. So that's questions you need to answer to yourself. Answer yourself. Choose the 2 correct options. When options to create a key. So do you specify the kind and let cloud data store generate a unique key, or you can specify the kind and a unique key? We think the first 2. I don't know. I'm just saying. Okay, so find that out for yourself. Okay, so what's the next thing we do? We check our progress. We are through. So that's as simple as to get the lab 2 hours, but less than 30 minutes, we're done. Okay, so as a bonus, we're supposed to run this other bonus part. Of course, JavaScript developers and those who are interested in JavaScript, as they are programming language for the cloud, this is for you. So I would urge you to do this and post the results to the program and let others who aren't JavaScript users learn from you. So that's the end of the lab, and of course I am much interested in this file and the code written in it. So what I will be doing is this. I'll click on this, I'll download and then give the path. Okay, so let me cancel that one first. Let me kill this program, and this is the path I would. Okay, so let me do something. Let me change to the home directory, of course. All right, so I want to download this folder. I want to keep the records. Let's come up here. Let's right click on this and say download. Okay, so it prepares it. It prepares it as a zip file, and it will be sent into my system. So whenever I run this stuff and after I'm through with the labs, I usually download the application folders. It's open source, it's free, you can use it to learn and save it on my system so that I can work with it further, understand the code and how it runs. And of course you could take the time to do the bonus that was given to us from your system. Okay, so let's give it a few minutes to get done with compressing the file in zip format. Okay, so this bonus, rather than do it with your lab running, end the lab after downloading the the folder for the lab that contains the code. You will now take your time to carry out this, and then when you're successful, you can come back and run the lab and change the code and see the results in your terminal. Okay, so I'm guessing the lab, the folder is a bit large. Another way to get access to this folder is, first of all, let's get a working directory. So this is where we are. Okay, so if I were to do this, excuse me, so there are 2 options. You right click on the folder and say download, or you come here and say download a file. Remember, in Linux everything is a file, and of course you take this this as the path and then add it with this one here. So let's do that. Let me bring up a text editor so that you can see what I'm doing. My internet is a bit slow, so it's taking some time to compress that. Okay, first of all, I will copy this one out because that represents this wiggly. Okay, let me put that here first. Okay, so I'll put that there. Then the whole of that thing I have pasted is the same thing as this. Okay, is Linux. So now what you do, you copy from here down. No, I'm interested in this, so I just copy this one alone and then go to my, put that there. Oh, sorry, paste. Oh, it didn't copy that. Okay, let's go back. Let's click on that. It's just training data analyst. We could just simply type that one anyway. Put that, aha. So that's the folder we're interested in. So sorry, I would select all and that. So you could do this like I'm doing currently, or you do it this way. Download file, this will come up. You put this file in here and say download, and it repeats the same thing. Failed. Why? Okay, perhaps because I'm doing something already. Failed. Okay, so let me kill this one. Let me close this one. Let me do that again. Download. Okay, so there are two options. Either you use this option or you right click on the folder and say download. Whichever one. Failed, failed, failed. Let's see why it's failing. It's not telling us why. Let me check my internet, because I'm a bit suspicious that my internet isn't. Okay, internet is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. All right, why is it failing? Oh, interesting. Okay, let's use this other method. Download that file. I'm interested in this because I have made alterations to this folder and I would like to just get everything I've changed. Okay, so you know what, since this is causing a lot of trouble, why is this okay, so let's go down to courses, then yes, okay, and this one. All right, so let me cancel this. I'm interested in this, and let's download that one. Let's see whether it will be easier. Okay, so data store. Okay, or we'll cancel that. I don't know what the problem is, but let me make it a bit lighter on my network. So I just right clicked on the folder of interest, which is data store, and then I would compress everything here as zip and send it to my system. Okay, so I don't know why this one acted up, so let me something is offline. It has to do with network for sure. It has to do with network. So I right click again. So it's up, the folder is here. Okay, let's give it a few minutes. All right, and it's up, and then I'll click save. And that tar, okay, it's not a zip file, it's a tar file. Let me put it where I can easily get a hold of it. Phase 2 hybrid connections, no, let me put it here, tar. So that is saved. Okay, so a second one came up, so we'll cancel that one. Let's see. Okay, that one is coming up. So it's an internet thing. So like I said, there are two options. You can either right click on the folder, any folder of interest, and download it. Will now tar, compress it as a tar folder and send it a tar file and send it to you, or you could use this and pass the path to the particular file you're interested in, and of course it will do justice to that. I don't know why this thing was acting up. It's failed. Okay, it's all right, it's all good. Okay, so I cancel. Okay, there is. Okay, that's not what we want. Let's see. This is still coming up. Well, I don't know how large that file is, but it's still coming up. So I'll give it a few minutes, because if I should close the lab now or end the lab, then this will stop downloading, because the resources will be deleted. So let's give it a few minutes. We're still we have sufficient time. So in a few minutes I can close this one just to make it light on my network. Okay, so I would love to know why this is acting up. Failed. All right, so let me, it's network. It keeps coming and going. Okay, so just give it a few minutes. It should be, it's working. Okay, so meanwhile, let us troubleshoot and find out why this is not working the way it should work. All right, so thank you for watching. I would find out why that one isn't working. So that's how I do it. After doing the labs, I download the files and study it further. So you can just end the lab. You click here. Of course, you have a pop-up window. You would rate the lab and then close it up, and the resources will be deleted. So I'll stop the video here so that I don't take much of your time. Thank you for watching, and leave your likes.